Steven Rogers is a New York-based comedian coming to Zanies in Rosemont for one night only next week. Steven, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
You picked the great times. I mean, it's tough to come to Chicago in the winter, but you've been here in like the spring and the summer. Now you're coming here in August.
Yeah, that's my whole goal. That's how I'll know I'm successful. If I'm where all the places when it doesn't stink to be there. That's the goal.
Because you played Zanies in Chicago, and then you were also at the Allstate Arena as well
Yes,
too. Tell me a little bit about that show. I mean, that must have been an incredible opportunity.
it was my biggest crowd ever, 18,000. Really wild, really fun. And I was there with Nate Bargatze, and he has electric scooters, so we got to ride electric scooters around the parking lot of the arena and stuff. So it was really fun. I love coming to Chicago, and I'm very excited to come back again. It's always very fun.
Yeah, you'll be here for one night only, August 22nd at Zanies in Rosemont.
Yeah.
So get those tickets ASAP. I want to talk a little bit about your connection to Captain America because obviously you have the same name. But did you discover that first? Did classmates discover it? And is that kind of a catalyst for what got you into comedy?
It's so funny you ask that. I remember knowing before my classmates.
Okay.
So I even had a pair of, this is embarrassing. I had a pair of Captain America boxers. And I remember changing for gym class or something. Like, this is elementary school, and somebody being like pointing it out, and I'm like, well, Captain America, and they're like, yeah, no, that's what we just said. They didn't know his name was the same as mine, and no one knew or cared until I think I remember the trailer for the first movie coming out in 2011. And at that point I was in high school graduating, and I remember kids asking for my ID to see that if it was the actual same name. And then after that, I got the jokes all the time. It was rare that I would get the jokes prior to the movies. Actually, I remember when they killed Captain America in the comic books, uh, they said like the headline was Steven Rogers is dead or something like that. And I knew about it and my parents knew about it, but my mom and I were taking a train, and the conductor saw my ticket, and he goes, Steven Rogers, you're dead. It looked weird to everybody else, but I think as long as you're in on it, it's less crazy. But yeah.
That's funny. We're also a big Peloton fan. I'm a big Peloton
Yes.
fan uh, as well too. Uh, I usually go by like the music mood that I'm in. So I'm like, if I want to hear some 90s, some
Yeah.
boy band, some new music, some 80s, and
Yeah.
that's how I judge my ride. How do you pick your rides?
I used to do by music, and then I found Kendall Tool, and fell in love with how she did the class. And she had a good sense of humor, and it was always like what I needed out of everything I needed out of the ride. And then I would be like, I don't care what the music is. Her personality fits what I am looking for. And I found new music through her, which was fun. And I also had a connection because my cat's name is Bowie, and she would mention her dog, and her dog's name's Bowie. And I'm like, this woman and I are gonna be best friends. And then she left recently. So now I'm a man without an instructor. So now I'm kind of going off music, but I'm trying to find, it feels like a breakup, and I'm looking
Yeah.
to get back out there and meet the right instructor.
Yeah, I mean it's tough too because especially so many people got bikes during the pandemic, so you feel like
Yeah.
these are your friends. So it's like you should have called me to tell me you were leaving. Like we could have had a conversation.
Yeah, yeah, she did. I had to find out she was breaking up with me through Instagram. That's not fair.
That's how a
Yeah,
lot of people find out these days, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's great.
You talk a little bit about your family as well too.
Yeah.
In your shows, a funny family. Were you the
Oh, yeah.
standout one? Tell me a little bit about maybe growing up and your humor with your family growing up.
Both my parents are hilarious, and they're both hilarious for different reasons. My mom is hilarious through her authenticity. She's like just by being her, she can just say something that's super funny. She's not trying. She doesn't care what people think in a positive way. And it's just a fun person to be around, and she's just funny by being herself. My dad is a jokester. Like he's I'm racing him to a joke if we're together. He's so fast and he's just got all these bits and he'll make a joke out of anything. And they were always funny, and it felt like just fun to be around that. And you want to be like that. And it obviously both of that is in me just by being their kid. But it's when I'm with them, I'll sit back and let them be the show. It's very fun. I call them at least once a week. And my favorite thing is when I'm not talking and just hearing them talk it's really great. They're
It,
so
it,
fun.
it makes for a great material because sometimes you give off like dad joke vibes.
Yes.
And I feel like you win a lot of the dads over with
Oh
their comedy
yeah.
as well too.
Yeah. It's funny. I worked with Tom Papa sometime and we were talking about dad jokes. And it's like dad jokes are, they're easy. They're kind of like dads because they're easy to make fun of, but you love them.
Yeah.
Like they are great. It's just easy to roll your eyes at a dad joke as easy it is to roll your eyes at your dad. But you're so much happier when a good one is around. It's so
Yeah.
much like a dad.
That makes so much sense when you phrase it like that.
Yeah. But I try not to put too much of them in my act because an hour of dad jokes is nobody wants that. And but to sprinkle them in,
Yeah.
for me is enjoyable. I even if it makes you cringe, usually when people are rolling their eyes at a dad joke, they're doing it while laughing.
Uh,
So it's very fun. I like putting them in there like little landmines, and
yeah.
people don't see it coming. And then I like surprising you with one.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. Were you named after the Alice Cooper song?
Yes, yes.
I love who was more of an Alice Cooper fan? Was it your mom or your dad? Or
My
was it like
dad,
something they both loved?
my mom has seen Alice and likes the music, but I wouldn't put her as a fan if you put me and dad in the same
Yeah.
ring. It's me and dad are the big fans, and my dad was a huge fan. He saw Alice's Welcome to My Nightmare tour, and that's where the song is from. And he's like, yeah, if I ever had a kid, I was going to name him Steven. And my mom liked the sound of the name, did not know where he got it from. And I love it. And the song's about a little kid trapped in his own nightmare, and I have diagnosed anxiety, so it just kind of fits the lore a little bit. I like it.
Yeah, it's something random, not to get off topic, but in my old neighborhood, there was a neighbor of ours, Alice Cooper, and she was a 90-year-old woman, and no one ever called her Alice. They always like Alice Cooper did this, and Alice Cooper needs help,
Yeah.
and I couldn't help but laugh every time someone mentioned that name, and I'm sure like it just gave me the chuckles. Yeah,
that was the joke that Alice, the musician,
yeah,
thought of. Is he's like, I'm going to be doing this, not to get all nerdy here, but I'm obsessed with the guy. He wanted to it's shock rock, very theatrical but very funny show. If you pay attention, like, yeah, he gets killed in the show, but it's very funny. When I go to see him at least, I've tried to see him every year. Been seeing him like for 20 years. And it's a show that makes me want to be a better performer because he's really, you got everything in it. But the joke he thought of was, he's like, well, if I'm going to be doing this shock rock show, it would be funny if I made my name where you had a totally different image in your head. And he said he pictured like Betty Crocker, and he picked Alice Cooper for that reason, that people would picture like a woman, like this wholesome woman. And then he comes out and does what he does for the joke. It's so great. I could talk about him forever. I wish
yeah.
you was a Peloton instructor. I would have everything I need.
Yeah, you have everything you need. We got to talk to him about making that happen. Yeah, like you mentioned too. You are very open with talking about anxiety,
Mhm.
and some of the things that you're going through. Do you get messages from fans or people talking to you after the show as far as like, kind of thank you for mentioning that, because sometimes people don't necessarily share that. But
Yeah.
being able to have that in like a comedic, forum where they're able to like, okay,
No, you're hitting on something. I have had that, and I'll be transparent. I'm making the jokes because I love writing jokes. I only know how to talk about what I'm going through, and so I'm not doing it with the intentions of like being on a soapbox or anything. I'm just trying to make everybody laugh, and but the residual or the bonus that comes with it, where people relate and if they actually feel less alone, is what I've been told by a bunch of people. I'll get those messages, and I've had people come up to me after shows that it means so much. It's I'm writing it to feel better a little bit. I'm just, I love stand up, but the fact that what I'm writing is also making other people feel better, on top of like, besides just laughing, uh, it is a nice reward that I was not expecting. So I do get that a lot, and I think I have I'm recording another special, and the stuff that I'm talking about now, I find people saying the same kind of thing, and I'm already working on the one after that, and I can tell that that's already happening again. So yeah, it's a nice bonus, and it definitely makes me feel good. I like
and,
it.
and this year has been incredible for you because you're doing a lot of East Coast states, but you're in California, you're
Yeah,
in Florida, you're in the Midwest. I mean, you're going everywhere. I mean, is this kind of
yeah,
the biggest year as far as like traveling for you?
yeah. I did a lot of. I've done. I think I've only got maybe 3 states I haven't ever done now. Um, which is a nice little thing to keep track of. And yeah, did a lot of arenas with Nate, and I go out with Brian Regan and Tom Papa, and been doing some really fun theaters with them, and performing in front of people that had no idea I do stand up. So that's nice to let them know I'm out there, and getting to headline these clubs. Like, I'm very excited to headline Zanies. I've not headlined there yet, so it's like a lot of firsts for me this year, and it seems to I'm doing more than I have in the past, and I'm very grateful, and it's a lot of fun. It's everything I've ever wanted. I'm very honored.
No, no, it's awesome. I love watching your videos, and I share them a lot, and I love all
Ah,
the success that you've been
thank you.
that
Please,
you've been
please
having.
keep sharing them.
I'm gonna keep on doing that. But like how often like do you get to come to Chicago like the day before? You get to stay the day after? Like do you get to go eat here, pizza, hot dogs? Like what is like when you come to
So
Chicagoland? Like here's what I got to eat, or here's what I got to do.
so this trip to Zanies, I won't be coming in a day early, but I'll be staying a day late. And I always get is this pronounced Giordano's?
Giordano's.
Giordano's.
Yeah.
I order Giordano's before I even have checked into my hotel. It's like a race to get into the room before the pizza does. And I will be getting it right away on Thursday, the before the show. So I'll try to order it earlier enough that I'm not sluggish by the time the show happens. Uh, but I haven't had a Chicago hot dog, and I'm gonna do it this trip. And then I don't know where I'll go, but I'm open to suggestions. I want to, because last time I went, the bean was being there was like construction being done around it.
Yeah, the
Uh,
bean is back open again, so you can go ahead and check that out.
oh, great! All
It's
right,
and if you're in Rosemont, Super Dog is not too far away.
is Super
We
Dog great?
Yeah, Super Dog is amazing. It's been there for forever. And then Wiener Circle is a legendary spot in near
Is that
Wrigley
where they
Field.
yell at you?
Yeah, that's where they yell at you.
Okay,
Yeah, and
I
like
have to do Wiener Circle. I like being yelled at sometimes.
yeah, they
Uh,
just did a whole like promotion with Chapel Roan. Ed Sheeran popped up there. Marshmello did like a pop up like DJ set. So they're always doing these like crazy things. And then of course you get the staff there that make it a memorable experience.
Oh man, I'm traveling there with my buddy who will be opening for me, Peter Wong. He's like my best friend. And to take him there so he gets yelled at would be a dream come true.
Yes, please post it on social media. We want to see one of them.
Okay, great. That'd be fun.
That is awesome. Well, Steven, thank you so much for your time today. Rosemont.zanies.com to go ahead and get those tickets August 22nd. And we'll see you in Chicagoland very, very soon.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
Thank you.